Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our partner orientation for Canadian Youth Road Safety Week. Just waiting for a few more people to join and then we will get started. All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today to learn more about Canadian Youth Road Safety Week um, and how you, as our partners, can participate throughout the week of October 20th to 26th and utilize our campaign this year. So just as people are trickling in, we'll just get started. But my name is Anne. I'm the coordinator with the road safety team at Parachute and the lead of Canadian Youth Road Safety Week this year. And I'm really excited to share all that we have going on during the week. Next slide, please. We would like to begin today by acknowledging the land on which Parachute is located. For thousands of years, it's been the traditional territory of the Wendat, the Anishinaabeg, the Haudenosaunee, the Métis, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Today, this land is still home to many Indigenous people, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. While we meet today on a virtual platform, we encourage all of you to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands, which we call home. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Next slide, please. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Desjardins Insurance and the Honda Canada Foundation, for their ongoing support for our youth programs at Parachute and Canadian Youth Road Safety Week. So just to give you an overview for today's session, we'll start by talking about the youth engagement research and framework that we developed that led us to making some changes in 2024 to our youth programming and really is the foundation of our approach to our work with youth. We will give a quick overview of the Canadian Youth Road Safety Program, which includes Canadian Youth Road Safety Week, as well as our Youth Council and Youth Ambassador Program. We'll also talk about the background of Canadian Youth Road Safety Week, what the week will look like this year, and how you as our partners can participate throughout the week and engage youth within your own networks. We will have lots of time at the end for Q&A, so if you have any questions that come up throughout the webinar, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen and we'll address those at the end. All right, so this is our youth engagement framework that came out in 2023 as part of the For Young Drivers by Young Drivers 2-year project that was funded by Transport Canada and supported by Desjardins. Our goal with this project was really to try and understand how to better engage youth and understand their attitudes when it comes to road safety. This framework, as well as the evaluation tool that we develop for organizations to assess their own level of youth engagement, which can be found on our website, was actually co-developed by our Canadian Youth Road Safety Council, and informed also by a literature review that we conducted, as well as an environmental scan, focus groups, a national youth survey that we did, and then both peer-to-peer and expert interviews that we conducted. The purpose of this framework really is to help you as road safety stakeholders to understand what meaningful youth engagement is, to improve your understanding of ways to effectively connect with and reach youth and young people, and then also to implement effective strategies and practices to support youth engagement in your road safety programming and your own initiatives. To give you a brief overview of this framework, it has three kind of guiding principles that are in the gray in the middle there. So the first is meaningful youth engagement. We also have equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility that guides our work, and then harm reduction. These are then surrounded by the five focus areas in green, and these include youth partnership, youth communication, youth outreach, youth capacity building, and youth advocacy. And just for the sake of time, we don't have the time today to go in depth into each part of the framework. But if you haven't had a chance to read the For Young Drivers by Young Drivers report, I highly recommend looking at it, as it will go into depth of each of these areas and recommendations that you may find very applicable to the work that you're doing. So at Parachute, we actually use the evaluation tool that we created through this project to assess our own youth engagement work, with the continued support of Desjardins and the new support of the Honda Canada Foundation as of last year, led us to expanding our youth road safety work into a year-round program, which we now call the Canadian Youth Road Safety Program. This includes our Canadian Youth Road Safety Council, which is made up of 10 young people from across Canada who make sure our youth programs are designed by youth for youth. So they work alongside us to co-develop resources and have had a lot of input into Canadian Youth Road Safety Week last year as well as this year. And then they work with us on designing our other youth programs as well. We also have our Youth Ambassador Program, which provides funding for youth-led road safety initiatives in local communities across Canada. And next slide, please. I will just do a quick plug for our ambassador program, as the applications are currently open until August 3rd. You can find all the awesome details and the application for that on our website under Youth Ambassadors, as well as the examples of some really stellar projects that youth led last year. So please feel free to check that out and share this really great opportunity with youth within your networks. And again, the deadline for that is October 3rd. Canadian Youth Road Safety Week and Snap for Change also fall under this program, and over the next few slides, I'll share some more details about them. So for some background on how Canadian Youth Road Safety Week came to be, I know many of you here today have participated in National Teen Driver Safety Week before, which, if you're not familiar, is an annual campaign that started in the US in 2007 and then came to Canada in 2013 under Parachute's leadership. The campaign really is and was aimed at youth aged 15 to 24, as we know that young people are killed in crashes at a higher rate than any other age group under the age of 75. The campaign is very focused on individual behavior change around speeding and distracted and impaired driving among youth. So then that led us in 2021. We really started to shift away from focusing solely on driver behavior and youth behavior, and more towards having this Vision Zero and safe systems approach, mostly because we know that although driver behavior is a factor and is still very important, there are many other factors that are at play when it comes to motor vehicle collisions. So we wanted to move away from that, focusing on driver behavior solely. Next slide, please. From Also from our research and discussions with youth through our project, we also learned that teen doesn't quite accurately describe the demographic that we are targeting, and it's actually more on the lower spectrum, as you can see on the quote on the screen. And we also learned that driver doesn't actually accurately describe the youth demographic as well, as we're seeing less and less youth in certain areas get their license and more youth using other modes of transportation, which really demonstrated the need to revamp our Awareness Week and campaign. So really all this led to the name change to Canadian Youth Road Safety Week in 2024 to be more inclusive and encompass all different types of youth road users. So this year, as I mentioned before, Canadian Youth Road Safety Week is taking place from October 20th to 26th. So if you don't have that in your calendar right now, I encourage you to put that in. And we will be continuing with the same theme as last year of Our Future Roads, which is really rooted in encouraging and empowering youth to be change makers and advocate for space for youth at the decision-making table when it comes to specifically road safety, not only to make the roads safer for youth, but also for everyone. We will also be using Snap for Change as our key activity again this year, seeing a lot of really great success with that. And this is an initiative that Parachute launched during Canadian Youth Road Safety Week last year, and it has since turned into a year-round initiative just with the uptake that we have received. Snap for Change really aims to promote advocacy for youth road safety in local communities and helps connect community members to local decision makers and local community leaders to actually implement those positive changes. So next slide. Snap for Change, just for some details on it, it is open to all ages, and it really is simple and easy to do. So we really encourage our partners to share this initiative and participate in it and share it with your own community members. So really quick to participate in it. People can take a photo or a video of a road safety issue in your neighborhood. This could be anything from poor visibility at an intersection to a street without a sidewalk or safe pedestrian crossing. It could also be an area, an urban area near you that has a speed limit higher than 30 kilometers an hour. You're then going to share an evidence-based solution to address that problem and to make that area safer. And then just to have an advocacy piece in there to take it one step further, we do ask that you send a letter or an email to someone, to a community leader, whether that's a mayor, your local counselor, local enforcement officer, or even school administration, depending on the issue that you're highlighting and where it is, all to advocate for those changes. It is worth mentioning that we do have a bit of an incentive behind this initiative as well, with the first 50 recipients receiving a $100 gift card to compensate them for their advocacy efforts. So again, really great way to participate and highlight road safety issues within your local communities. So just to walk through how to fill out the form on our website, I'm going to play our how-to video that was created by one of our youth council members.
Advocate for road safety in your community by going to Parachute's website and searching up Snap for Change. Here, you will include pictures or videos of a road safety issue, what you would change to make it safer, and what steps you have taken to advocate. You can send a letter to your local government, get in touch with your traffic safety office, and many more. This is a crosswalk I use every day. There's only one pedestrian crossing sign on either side of the crosswalk instead of two. The most important question on the form is, what would you add or change to make this area safer? Here, describe the issue and most importantly, provide actionable and realistic suggestions for change. This is a chance for you to show us your passion about safety in your community. My solution is to add a crosswalk with flashing lights. This way, pedestrians won't have to struggle to find a safe point to cross on the road, as you see me doing here. After you've completed the form and included your pictures or videos, accept the acknowledgements and press submit. Thank you for helping Parachute keep the road safe for our youth.
Awesome. So like I said, we've seen a lot of great success with this initiative as a lot of community members are hearing back from their leaders who are actually acknowledging their concerns and have actually agreed to put some sort of solution in, which is really great. So just some examples here, just to get your brains thinking about what you can highlight and what you can submit. We just have a few examples here. So I'll start with pointing out the one on the top left here, where someone expressed concerns about having a lack of safe pedestrian and cyclist crossing and infrastructure in St. John, New Brunswick. So they actually reached out to the City of St. John Traffic Department, and then they did receive a response saying that work orders had been submitted for a separated bike lane and flashing pedestrian signal, which is really great to see. The one in the top right from Calgary was actually submitted by one of our youth council members who wanted to highlight this roadway near the University of Calgary. That is, as you can see, it's a single lane, wide single lane road that is typically used as two lanes as it doesn't have a lot of signage and painted lines to separate them. So as you can see in the photo, cyclists are frequently put into dangerous situations, which led to her submitting her concerns to the City of Calgary, requesting that lane dividers and signage and bike lanes be put in place to improve safety in that specific area. The one on the bottom left is a submission from a high school student from the City of Vaughan Transportation Youth Ambassador Program, who raised concerns about drivers failing to obey stop signs near an elementary school, as well as a park and a church are in that neighborhood. So he suggested implementing some different traffic calming measures before the stop signs to help reduce vehicle speeds and assist them in stopping at those signs and complying to that. He submitted these requests to the City of Vaughan, and they actually scheduled a stop sign compliance study for that intersection, which is really great to see that response. Lastly, another youth council member, the one in the bottom right, spotted an intersection near a new elementary school in Toronto that didn't have safe pedestrian crossings. So he reached out to the City of Toronto and was corresponding back and forth with a counselor about this, about implementing flashing pedestrian signal and some other solutions. And just recently, he shared with me that the intersection has become a three-way stop and 3 new stop signs have been implemented, which again is really great to see action in these areas. So as you can see, it's super easy to participate, and it's a really great way to connect local community members to community leaders. And yeah, really encourage you to share that initiative with your own networks. So for our social campaign this year, we are using the hashtag Our Future Roads, like I mentioned, and this is focused on how road systems can better support youth safety by highlighting the benefits of things like safe speed, accessible transit, active transportation, reducing impaired driving through harm reduction approaches, and having an overall smart design of our road system that reflects the needs of all different road users. The premise of this campaign really is around the idea that safe roads are not a fairy tale, and it uses these fairy tale inspired characters, which I'll show on the next slide, to encourage youth to imagine their ideal future roads and what that could look like, and then realize that these solutions and wishes can become a reality by advocating for evidence-based interventions like 30-kilometer speed limits and separated bike lanes that do, in fact, make roads safer. Next slide, thank you. Now I'm going to show you a lot of the great campaign assets that we have that you can utilize this year, including our new banners and videos and social media posts, which are available both in English and French. The design this year for our banner is based on our youth council's feedback, really highlighting the importance of accessible public transit and ensuring that our transportation system is not just built around vehicles, but is also safe and accessible for pedestrians, cyclists, and all different types of road users. I'm going to show you 4 videos on the next few slides. And these are really great that you can use, post on your social media. And they show this transition of road safety wishes becoming a reality. So show the first one, which is around safe bike infrastructure and separated bike lanes. And the next one that I'll show is about climate change and how active transportation can reduce emissions. This third video is about advocating for safe speeds and traffic calming measures within that. Perfect. And then this last video that we have is focused on reducing impaired driving through harm reduction strategies like taxis and rideshare programs. Great. So all of these different assets that I have showed you, as well as more, can be found on our website under Canadian Youth Road Safety Week. And we also do, as you see on the slide here, we have a full social media guide with a bunch of pre-written captions and links for you to use for social media posts leading up to and throughout Canadian Youth Road Safety Week. So it's really easy for you to go on our website and then copy and paste and download anything that you need to use for your own organization promotion. Next slide. And then I also wanted to highlight that at the bottom of the Canadian Youth Road Safety webpage, you'll also find a downloadable PDF with all of our key messages for this year. And you can access and use that. And they all really focus on this idea of that safe roads are not a fairy tale and really highlight the interventions that work to make our roads safer. So with that, just to summarize how you as our partners can get involved in Canadian Youth Road Safety Week this year. So firstly, you can share our key messages with your own networks and be sure to download that PDF that I mentioned from our website. Secondly, you can also promote the campaign by sharing it on social media and using the assets that we have linked on our website. Again, just want to highlight the full social media guide that we have that makes it really easy to share on your organization's social media. And then we also invite you to share and join in the Snap for Change key activity this year by sharing different road safety issues within your local community and promoting that within your partners as well. So with that, now we have lots of time to go into Q&A about the week and campaign. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And if any questions come up at any time before Canadian Youth Road Safety Week or during, my email is on the screen there, and I'd be happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you have. All right, or I'm not seeing any questions come through. So like I said, if anything comes up, please feel free to email me at astewart@parachute.ca. But yeah, very much looking forward to having you join us in Canadian Youth Road Safety Week this year. And thank you so much for your continued support for our Parachute Youth Road Safety programs. And hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, everyone.